Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So I wanted to do another video on Tarkov FPS / performance. This one's going to be short, sweet, and to the point, and we're going to talk about how to completely uncap your FPS to make sure you get the most FPS in Tarkov that you can. Let's hop on in and let's check it out. Alright, so before we hop into the actual game settings, we need to take a look at the NVIDIA control panel. I'm guessing that AMD's, I think it's still the Catalyst Control Center, probably has the same setting, but you just want to make sure and go in that you have vertical sync set to off. We're going to leave it off in the control panel because we're going to let the game take care of that setting. So turn VSync off in your control panel. Alright, so here we are in the game. Now, you can see here in the top left, I'm using MSI Afterburner and Riva Tuner Statistics Server to do on-screen display so we can kind of see what's going on. There will be a link to that video and how to do that at the end of this video, but all you need to do is you need to go into your settings. You need to go into your graphics, okay? And now from here, okay, if you are on full screen, and this doesn't sound really crazy, and VSync is not enabled, that's when these sliders come into play, right? And so if I set that to 50 and I hit save, now my frame rate in game is locked down to 50, which is, you know, obviously gross, right? So we set it to 60, now it's back up to 60, right? And so that's when that slider matters. That slider doesn't matter when you turn on VSync. And as soon as you do, it's going to go all the way to the roof. And so right now I'm at like 200 to 240 frames per second, right? Now, this is on full screen. So if you go to true full screen, you will pass your monitor's frame rate. If you set this to borderless or to windowed, it is going to lock you at your monitor's refresh rate. So in this case, I have a 144. This thing, it'll play a little funky. It'll bounce between like 120, 130 right now. I'm not really sure what goes on in the background and what happens, but in this scenario, if you run borderless with VSync on, you will get at max your monitor's frame rate. So I'm going to load up a map. We'll go into a map and I'll show you guys how it works in there as well. All right, dude. So here we are on factory. Over here is one of the random corners. But so I'm going to start out. This is in borderless with VSync disabled, and my frame slider is all the way to the right. So we are at 120 frames per second. We can see our GPU is being used about 76% of its capacity. So if we come into here, we change this, we turn VSync on, these sliders are going to dim out. We hit save, we hit resume. Okay. Now I'm at the brink on this where bouncing between VSync and non-VSync is pretty close. You'll see I'm kind of spiking over the 120. I'm getting up to 125. Sometimes we'll bump up to 130 and comes back down again. Like I described in my other video, Tarkov is very, very sensitive. It's a very, very fickle game. But if we go back into this again, I think if I like look up and stuff, maybe we can get over 120, get to the, there we go. So there's monitor cap, 140 to 144, looking straight down to the ground because we're not rendering anything, right? So we go back over here. Now, if we do this and we go to full screen, VSync enabled, resume. Now I'm at 150 frames per second, and you can see that my GPU usage is up to 91%. If we look down, this will skyrocket up to 170, 180 frames. Now again, I am taking a slight hit because I'm recording on an insane bit rate on single PC, but you can kind of see the difference in performance ceilings when it comes to those settings. So again, guys, if you have VSync disabled and you're running in borderless, I'm pretty sure in full screen as well, you're going to be capped at either 60 frames per second in the menu or 120 frames per second in the game. If you enable VSync, then you will make it to your monitor's refresh rate if you're in borderless. And if you do VSync enabled and full screen, then you're going to go ahead and cap out at whatever your computer can actually create for frames. So those are kind of your three scenarios in frame rate in Tarkov. Alrighty, so there you guys have it. Those are the different settings that you can get in Tarkov in order to get the different frame rate caps. One final time, again, that is VSync disabled. You're going to cap it either 60 or 120. If you do VSync enabled on borderless, you're going to cap at your monitor's refresh rate. If you do full screen, VSync enabled, it's completely against everything that we normally think, but that is going to be a completely uncapped frame rate. And that's it. So as always, dudes, if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/Cardo. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time. Stay humble. Peace out.